Hello and welcome to the Anita Francis podcast show. We have got an amazing guest in the studio today. His name is Saeed. He is the founder of Extent Marketing, a lead generation agency based in the UK that focuses on helping coaches and service providers book more clients without cold outreach. Saeed mainly specializes in paid ads and sales funnels, and his strategy can work for any business that requires more appointments or sales calls anywhere in the world. Saeed also offers one-to-one coaching for business owners who want to learn this strategy themselves. Welcome, Saeed, to our show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so great to be here.
I'm so excited to have you. Honestly, we connected on, was it Instagram?
Yeah, I
Social
think it
media.
was.
It was
Yeah. Yeah, a while ago.
probably about, yeah, a while ago now, actually, about 2 years ago. We
Yeah.
connected. Yeah. Okay. And I've followed what you do. And I know, you're helping businesses out there. And yeah, I just thought it was amazing what you do. And I thought, okay, let me reach out to you and see how we can collaborate together, how we can, help each other and help others out there with their business. So honestly, I'm so grateful you've taken up this opportunity to come onto my show.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so so happy to be here as well. And yeah, it's just nice for us to just finally connect as well because we haven't really had that time to actually properly speak as well. So, yes, thank you
I
so much for having me
agree.
here.
I agree, Saeed. Isn't social media an amazing thing?
Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Okay, fantastic. Okay. So what I'm going to do today, Saeed, and people want to know, how you can help them. As you know, I run a successful real estate company, and I know there's other companies out there that run real estate companies or any type of business, and, they need leads, they need help, they need sales funnels, they are looking for that type of help. So today, the whole point is let's have a conversation, see how we can help businesses out there grow and be very successful. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay. So diving into my first question, Saeed,
Yeah.
how did you go about starting your business journey so young? Okay. And
Yeah.
also tell us about how it all started and what is it that you want to actually do?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll start with that. Okay, that this feels like a while ago now because I think it was the pandemic. So obviously it was in 2020 now, wasn't it? Yeah, that was when the pandemic happened. And I just remember obviously I was in school back then, so I was doing my GCSEs, everything was happening as it should be, getting ready to do my exams. I think it was around February time when lockdown happened. So after that, obviously, everything was unpredictable and I had basically they just shut down the school and they just said to us that our exams are cancelled. And I was kind of happy at the same time because I was just yes, it means I don't have to do my GCSEs. And that's something I was in school for 5 or 7 years for, obviously prepping for that. So it felt kind of nice as well because we had around a good 6 months of just doing nothing. And I don't know if you remember lockdown, but it was obviously you had that stress of catching COVID. But other than that, it was pretty nice and chilled. Every day I just got to wake up whenever I want. I just remember playing Xbox, going outside in the garden, it was just in a way, it was kind of a nice time. And
Yeah.
obviously when you have nothing to do, it can get a bit boring, from time to time.
Yeah.
I just remember, you get into a routine and then you just okay, but if I don't know really what I'm going to do, what the future's holding, it was almost just what do I do with my time? Is this it? Because obviously, I think when you're young and you're a school kid, you always kind of low key want that wish, oh, I wish exams were cancelled. I had nothing, I could do anything I want. And obviously I got that. So it felt kind of strange, obviously, having that time off. And then I think it was just one day randomly, I was just scrolling on my phone and I came across I think it was a webinar or something. And it was just basically, it caught my attention. It was how you can help businesses during lockdown. And it was watch this free webinar, this free training on how you can, make this lockdown opportunity, make the most of this opportunity. So I was just curious and I wasn't really expecting much of it, but I thought, okay, let me just watch it for 5 minutes, see what this video is about. And then obviously, 5 minutes turns into an hour once you're on it because you're just hooked in. And so I was watching it and it actually like really caught my interest because it was just like a lot of businesses right now, they're struggling, they're going to struggling to get clients. So this is a great time for you to start like a business and helping people. And it was kind of like giving me an introduction, like Facebook ads, social media management, all that marketing stuff. And obviously I had no idea what marketing was back then, nor did I have any sort of idea that like I never thought in my life that this is something I'd want to do or even knew this was like a career path, if I'm honest. So when I when I finally like watched the whole video, it like offered me like a like it was like a 48-hour bonus or something to like join the course, and then it was like a full breakdown of how you can actually like set up Facebook ads, find clients, get them results, and basically kind of low-key thought that, oh, I'm gonna be rich, because when you're in these webinars, they kind of sell you the life and everything. They're like, imagine yourself 6 months from now, you're going to be like traveling the world, doing all of that kind of stuff. So I was like pretty excited. I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna definitely do this. Like, I want to, I thought I was gonna be rich within like a few months' time. But I think that kind of comes with experience. You kind of like learn to manage your expectations. But yeah, I was just taking notes that day, and then I just remember like the course was like £550 or something, and obviously like I didn't really have money back then because obviously I didn't have a job or anything. It was just like I just kept on thinking about it the entire night, and I couldn't literally go to sleep because I was just like, I just watched this whole hour webinar, and there's a good opportunity here, but if I don't take advantage of this opportunity, like what am I actually going to do with my life? So I was just like pondering over that for like a good 2 days. And then that's when I was kind of like thinking, how do I get the money to invest in this course? So then like, I remember one day I was just being so nervous, but I decided to just ask my mum, and I was just like, I was just explaining the whole strategy of like, this is how I can like help businesses during lockdown. And then, after that, I was just like, yeah, the course costs like for £550, and can I borrow some money to invest in it? And like surprisingly, she was actually pretty chilled with it. She was just like, oh, make sure it's legit, make sure like they're not a scam or anything like that. But yeah, I was actually really surprised. Like she just lended me the money, and that's when after that I'm a good like learner. Like I love like learning and just like taking notes and proper studying things. So I remember just binge watching that course, and I think it was like Ramadan at the time as well. So yeah, I was just watching the course until like 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the night, like proper taking notes. I was like, I'm gonna master how you do all of this. And then after that, I just remember like learning all about Facebook ads, Google ads, how to reach out to businesses. And then I started my own social media page, and I was just thinking of like how to come up with business name ideas. And I was thinking, I don't really want to include my name because I feel like that's a bit like, it's too generic sometimes, and I wanted to do something a bit different. So I was just looking on like the thesaurus, I think it's called, and it was just like I was just looking at different words for growth, and then that's where the word extant came, which I didn't actually know that that's what it meant, but it means like another word for growth. So that's why I chose that as my business name, because I thought it sounds kind of like it sounds logical as well, like growth marketing, they're linked together. And then that's after that I decided to like try and build myself a website, and I made a social media page, and then I just started like doing cold outreach, literally cold calling businesses. It was proper scary, I can't lie. And I didn't really like know what I was doing at the same time, because obviously like this is me, I was 16 at the time, and I was always thinking low key in my head, like I'm calling up all these people, but are they going to think I'm a scam? Are they going to think like it's a time waster? But because I think in the beginning when you start a business, you're kind of delusional in a way, like in a positive way. Like you're like, oh, I don't care. Like I'm going to call up 100 businesses. Like you have a lot of like motivation, and I think that does kind of break down as you go along. Because I feel like anything you start new, you're going to have
Yeah,
that big momentum in the
very
start, and then
true.
over time you're
Yeah.
going to just you're going to kind of lose that momentum because you're going to get a bit tired and all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, after multiple cold calls, like I did manage to get a few meetings booked in, but um it was kind of like I was almost like scared, a bit scared as well, because I was just like, I'm gonna have to go into these meetings face to face as well and like talk to them. And yeah, it was generally like a strange time, but that essentially is how I started my business, um
Wow.
through that webinar.
Wow. Honestly, you should be so, your mom, your parent, they must be so proud because, honestly, not a lot of 21-year-olds, think like that, to do that.
Yeah.
Obviously, COVID was a terrible experience for a lot of people around the world. People lost loved ones and, things like that.
Yeah,
In my whole life, I've never seen anything like that. And it was just absolutely awful.
definitely.
But on the other side, what happened, found that a lot of people, their lives changed as well. The ones that obviously, didn't catch COVID, and were working the 9 to 5. It was a bit like, I can't explain it. The amount of people that I spoke to that took redundancies and then started their own business,
Yeah,
because they just found they were spending more time at home, etc. And it was just everyone just, most people just changed, to be quite honest. I mean, for
yeah,
me, it didn't really affect me as much because I was doing my own business before this business. So, and I was working remotely from home anyway. So for me, when COVID came, I didn't have to go into an office or anyway because I didn't go into an office before COVID
yeah.
anyway. So for
Okay.
me, it was quite the sort of norm staying in. But I know that a lot of people struggled. So the fact that you at such a young age thought, okay, let's see if I can start this. Like, wow, that is just absolutely wow. Wow. So hats off to you,
Thank you.
honestly. I was actually 24 when I started my first business, so a
Oh,
little bit
nice.
older than you, but
Yeah,
yeah, made all the mistakes under the sun. But that's for a podcast, a different day.
yeah.
But yeah, it's not easy. But the first thing you need to do is take action and do it, which you
Yeah,
obviously have done. So well done to you. Well done to you for that.
thank you.
Okay. Okay. So Saeed, so knowing now that you're doing business, I mean, how long has the company been going? How long have you been actually trading?
Yeah, so it's been since 2020. That's when I started it in around June time,
Okay. All
and I
right.
was kind of
Okay.
doing it like on and off. So it was kind of like my side hustle because obviously after it was like June, I started it in June, and then obviously September came around, and then like college opened, so I was doing my A levels at the same time. So it was kind of like a side hustle that I was doing like on the
Yeah.
side of my like studies and everything. So
Yeah.
I got clients like what as I was doing my uni work. It wasn't something that I was doing full time, but it's something that I have an ambition as well for, like to go full time as well, like properly. Because obviously at the end of the day, you build a business because you want to create your own little freedom, right? You don't want to be working for someone
That's it.
else.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Honestly, and what? Just wanting to know what was you studying at university?
Yeah.
what was your
So in my A levels I was doing criminology and geography, business, and I did travel and tourism as well. So yeah, I was studying like
wow. That sums you up then. Yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah,
sums you up. Oh, amazing. Oh, absolutely amazing. Oh, well, well done to you. Well done to you. So now that you've been training for quite a while, okay,
yeah.
tell us about your first ever client meeting and how did that go? Because I know you sort of touched on, sort of meeting, cold calling and meeting people is quite scary. So
Yeah.
tell us about that experience. How did it go?
Yeah, of course. Like it feels like ages ago now, but yeah, I do remember that day actually. I remember like obviously I'd done the cold call, and then I managed to get someone on like I think it was a chiropractor, and yeah, I just remember being so nervous before the meeting, and I had my little laptop and presentation, and I had my prices and everything ready, and yeah, it was definitely a chiropractor. I remember because I remember going into like the clinic or something, and back then I didn't really have like a niche. I was kind of going for like anyone because I just thought let me just get clients right now. So I was reaching out to everyone like estate agents, lawyers, dentists, like everything, like anything you could think of. Um, and overall, the meeting went like really well. He seemed quite invested in the strategy. He did seem like quite impressed as well when I came in like with my little laptop, and I remember it was a weird time though because it was like I remember I had to wear face masks and I didn't even see the guy's face because we were just like it was like a social distancing meeting. Like it's such a weird time, honestly. But yeah, the meeting went really well, and I kind of like demonstrated how I could help him get more like chiropractor clients. I think it was like feet like I think chiropractic to do with feet and stuff. So it was a bit of a weird, it was a weird like way to promote it. But I managed to like walk him through a strategy, and then after that it came to the bit where I give my price, and so that's when the meeting went well up until then, and that's when I started getting the objection of I remember hearing like my price was too high, and if I was able to go a bit lower than that, then he'd be happy to go ahead. But I remember for that course that I bought, they were like, don't go like too low on your price. Otherwise, like people sometimes will take advantage. But now that I think about it, I kind of wish I did kind of go a bit low on my price because I think I was like going all in, like charging above 800 quid for something I've never done before and I had no experience. I think I had like the balls to just go in and charge in that and just be a bit delusional. Yeah, and I think I do regret not lowering my price because if I did
Yeah.
sign that client at a lower price, I would have still got some experience and it was better than like it's almost like I would have just treated it like a work experience in a way. But yeah, you learn from your lessons. But yeah, in the end, we didn't work together because my price was too high for him, obviously, and it was locked down. And then yeah, I just had that price objection. So I do remember feeling a bit low after the meeting because I was just like, oh, did I like? You start having all these doubts, like, am I charging too much? But yeah, that's essentially how my first ever client meeting went. And it just goes to show that like not everything is gonna like work out as the way you want it to. And you know, you might be promised like this, or you might be picturing this like lifestyle of like, oh, I'm gonna be rich, I'm gonna sign clients. It's as easy as that, but it's not easy. I can tell anyone that. Like, you have to have like resilience. You have to keep, you know, you have to get used to rejections as well. But luckily, like I did find my first ever client, and that was like a few months later. He came to me on Instagram, and I never approached them. He just approached me randomly, and I did find that quite weird because he just inquired out of nowhere, and he didn't even know what I looked like. Because back then I never used to show my face; it was just me behind a logo. So it was really weird. Yeah, it was like a property investor sourcer, property sourcing company. Yeah, he wanted me to do like social media management for him because he really liked the graphic design I was doing on my page. And I remember like doing something really low back then. It was like £150 a month for social media management. At the time, I was like over the moon because obviously I was 16 and I was in college, and that was my first ever job. Like I didn't work a part-time job before that. Like I think it's quite cool in a way to say like my first ever job was me doing my own business, like doing social media management. So in a way, I was like kind of over the moon because I was just like, oh, I've actually got my first client, even though it's a little amount. That was a lot to me back then, and yeah, that was it was just a really nice to be able to work with him. And I was working for him like a good 2 years. So yeah, it was actually it was quite a nice like client to work with. Like I got to learn a lot through property as well myself because I was doing like the content creation, the engaging. Like I remember growing his page to like, over 2,000 followers or something. And we got lots of great engagement. We got lots of great inquiries for people looking for like property sourcing services. So that's how I kind of started developing that passion for property. Um, and yeah, so that was essentially my first ever client, and my first ever service was social media management.
Wow, oh my. And do you enjoy it? I mean, do you enjoy it? Yeah, because
Yeah,
obviously you're
definitely.
young, so you know, in my time there was no Facebook, there was no social media, there was no YouTube, there's nothing like that, you know.
Yeah,
So this is something new to me, so I've had to learn. But obviously you're born in, you know, in the generation where it's the norm, you know. So
yeah.
is it something that you honestly enjoy doing daily?
Yeah, yeah, literally. Like, I actually really enjoy it because I feel like with me, I'm quite a creative person. Like, I really can't stand Excel sheets or like looking at data every single day. Like, you know, I don't think that's me. I don't know how people do it, but I like being creative. I like, you know, doing
Yeah,
branding, designing, you know, ads. I like filming videos. So yeah, I definitely say I can't do a dull. No offense to anyone who does those kind of jobs because everyone has their
yeah,
own
yeah.
tastes and preferences, but that's not really for me. I like being creative.
Love it, love it. Well, good on you. I mean, like, you know, when you just talked about your story about you know, you priced it too high, you pitched too high, basically, you know.
Yeah,
I think you're not the only one that's happened to. I'm telling you, if you spoke to a lot of entrepreneurs, the
yeah,
story that they have, oh my gosh, yeah, you are not the only one. And that's why pricing strategy is really important. I
yeah.
mean, I'm also starting an e-commerce business to do with health and well-being because I
Oh,
just love
nice.
anything to do with health. Yeah, anything to do with health and well-being, absolutely love. And I'm at the stage now where I'm getting samples sent to me. I'm just at the beginning phase one stage, which it's an enjoyable stage. I absolutely love it. I'm getting samples and I'm getting
Yeah,
excited, you know,
yeah,
going out there, you know, testing it, friends, families, that sort of stuff, you know. But I'm also looking at the pricing strategy. So where am I going to pitch this? You know, how much am I going to how much I'm going to pitch it at, and I don't want to come in too high, don't want to come in too low. I want to pitch it at the right sort of
Exactly.
price so that I do get people buying. So it is important, and a lot of businesses do need to look at that because I always say something is better than nothing.
Yeah, 100%.
Something is better than nothing. But also, I also say know your worth. Know what you are capable of doing, and
100%.
your worth. And if somebody obviously doesn't want to work with you for that reason, then there's nothing you can do. It just wasn't meant to be. But you
Exactly,
know
yeah.
what you're capable of doing. So, but no, oh my gosh, so that was your first ever meeting, and that was your
Yeah.
first experience.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. So that leads me on to my second question then. So
Um,
what strategies do you use when you first started your business, and do you actually still use those strategies today?
Great question. Really good question. So the strategies that I used when I first started, I was taught on that course. The main one was cold calling, which I absolutely hated, and I still hate to this day. There was other methods I was also taught, like cold DMs, like Instagram DMing people, connecting with loads of random people on LinkedIn, and just sending them like messages. Um, Basically every strategy that I was taught, it was me approaching the person first. And I hated cold calling. Every time I did it, like my heart would like shake because I'd be like, oh, what do I say, what do I say? And sometimes you'd get rude people as well. They'd be like, sorry, we're not interested, or we've really got someone doing this for us, when they clearly didn't, because that's why I reached out to them. But yeah, so cold calling was interesting. It's not something I do. I probably stopped doing it years ago because it's just like I feel like it kind of ruins your brand image in a way, because like you're kind of approaching someone like completely out of the blue, and they're going to have that resentment because they'll be like, I never approached you in the first place, like who are you? Don't get me wrong, it can work. Like it did work for me in the beginning. Like I did get meetings, but it was like a numbers game. And that's what I was taught. Like cold calling is a numbers game. For every like 50 or 100 calls, you might get one call booked in or whatever it is. So that was one strategy which I just hated, and I'm never going to do it again because I don't need to do it anymore. So fair enough to anyone that can do that really well. So I think it also depends on like how you want to grow your business, and I think that's something that every business owner should ask themselves is like, how do I want to be? How do I want to be able to sign clients? Like, do I want to be relying on always reaching out to people, or do I want someone to come to me? So I think that's a really important question everyone needs to ask themselves. I tried cold DMs as well, and that had a bit more of a success rate. Back then, obviously, it was 2020, like 5 years ago now, which sounds crazy, but that's when I was reaching out to lots of people. I did get responses, but then I'd get ghosted a lot of the time, or just be left unseen. It's Yeah, you get a lot of rejections with that method as well. And I get DMs not being responded to. So it is quite soul destroying. Like, when you're doing all of this hard work and you're putting in hours every single day, like just to literally get a call with someone, and you're like, you at the end of the day, that's when it started like getting to me, like, oh, is this really as easy as I thought it would be? Like, do I really want to always have to do all of this to just get a client? So it's not as simple as just reaching out to a few businesses. It's like you have to just have a lot of grit and resilience when it comes to like any sort of business where you're doing, I'd say like B2B business as well. But yeah, the main problem was just wanting to get onto a call with someone really. And just because I always approach them first, it was just like, they're not really that interested. And I tried emails as well. That was another method. And even then I'd just get like in people's junk mail. Like, I'd never get a response. And I remember sending like 100 emails a day. And I'd be using like lead tools to like find emails of people. So again, every cold outreach method I tried, it was more of like it kind of led to burnout, because it's just not something that I enjoy doing, and I'd have to spend hours every day. And once like, if I stop doing it for like a day, the momentum drops, and then like we kind of get a bit lazy because I'm like, oh, I have to find a list of 100 people, and it takes so much time. Like I can't, I never use those strategies anymore. So yeah, and also like I know how it feels to be sold to when you weren't looking for something in the first place, because I've had people like cold call me before, reach out to me. Like I get it every day as well on my marketing page, like people saying, we can, and they're always from fake accounts as well, and they're always like, well, we can help grow your engagement, we can help you sign hundreds of clients, and I'm just like, get lost. I used to do what you're doing. I know it's not going to work. um, but yeah, it wasn't really getting me anywhere, and it was so time consuming. And then I had all that stress of like A levels and college studies. So that's when I invested in like coaching and like courses because I really wanted to just find a different method to sign clients. And I also stopped offering like social media management as well, because that was also quite time consuming for me. And I thought I just want to focus on ads as well. So that's when I thought I would start like actually using ads and using that in my own business now. So the main way I use get clients now is through ads. I'd say the two main methods are ads and my own organic content. Because I've
Okay.
basically invested in a coach and a courses where I've learned how to create content that actually attracts leads organically. So
Right.
even though back then you may have noted, like if you look at my page, you'll notice that in 2020 when I was posting content, I used to get hundreds of likes because I was posting content for my peers, and it was really generic content like 5 social media tips. I didn't really have like a specific niche or like a specific, it was fluffy content, but it was getting likes. So I thought it was doing well. But
Yeah.
then since I niched down, like there was a time when I niched down to specifically people in the property industry, and then I started getting inquiries because people knew, okay, this guy, he's working, like he works in this space. So niching down is a really great way as well to sign clients and get people to choose you over your competitors. And then I learned how to use paid ads, so use sales funnels, paid ads. And then I tried using it for my clients, and it worked really well for them. And then I used it also for myself, and I was surprised by like how easy it was to just sign clients. Like you would I would just set up a few ads and then build a funnel and then direct people to the funnel, and then they'd book in a call with me. And that same thing was the thing I used to spend hours every day just trying to get someone to do, book
Yeah.
a call with me.
Yeah.
So I thought, okay,
Yeah.
this is a game changer. Like now I know how to reach someone exactly, like my exact
Yeah.
ideal client, get them to approach me and book a call with me without me having to do any sort of cold calling or cold outreach. It felt like I felt like, okay, now I can feel like I can, easily grow my business and not have to worry about how I'm going to sign clients because it's something that I can rinse and repeat when I need more clients. So yeah, the main strategy I use now is funnels and organic social media content.
Wow, that's amazing. So, but you had to go through all of the other strategies, the
Yeah,
email, the cold calling, etc., to get to okay, this is what works. And I totally agree with you, Saeed. I mean, like for me, I've got a background in marketing, sales and marketing. My degree's in marketing. I've always said that sales is not marketing. It's very different. Marketing
exactly.
does lead to sales. But and anything that you've got to do, you got to do. You've got to test. You've got to test what you're going to do. So you sort of testing emails. That strategy didn't work. Time consuming, got on your nerves. Picking up the phone, calling 100, businesses a day. Okay, yeah, you can get one or two possible leads from that, but it's very. Imagine calling 100
Yeah,
businesses a day. I used to have to do it, so I totally get it. So you're thinking, okay, we've got to look at a different strategy. And I love that what you've explained, how you've used those strategies before, and now you realize that okay, that wouldn't be the best strategy for you and your time. And now you're doing the sales funnels, the ads, etc., and that's getting more a success rate. So because it's worked for you, you're now telling other people about it. Then do it this way,
yeah, yeah,
which is that right? Is that
yeah,
right? What I'm
exactly.
saying? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, definitely.
Yeah, that's amazing, amazing. Okay, so leading me on to my next question then. So how do you adapt in your business now today? How do you adapt and how do you manage the challenges? Because oh my gosh, Saeed, there's nothing but challenges in
Yeah,
business. And I don't care
100%.
if anyone comes on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever, and says, oh yeah, life is amazing. No, it's not. I've done videos basically stating that I was that close to giving it all up,
Yeah.
like this is too much.
uh,
I was that close, and
Yeah.
luckily because I've got a support of my husband, my family, you always need that person that you can talk to, and they pull you through those times of in doubt. And oh my gosh, there are challenges. They are challenges. So how do you adapt in your business and manage those challenges?
Yeah, great question. I would say I always make sure I've got support, access to support when I need it. Like I'm always investing in multiple business coaches, courses, online programs. So many people will hesitate to invest in like a coach, a course, because they think, oh, it costs a lot of money. I used to have that mindset in the beginning. Like I remember first investing into my business coach. The investment was £2,000, and I think I was like 17 at the time, and obviously I was working my part-time job as well. So I think that's when I started getting a bit of almost like grey hairs because I was thinking like, oh, how am I going to afford all of this? Because I
Yeah.
had like obviously my monthly outgoings as well, and I was just like working a part-time job, and I was on a payment plan for like 6 months. So back then, I almost felt like the pressure of what it's like to like have a responsibility to pay something on a monthly basis. And I would say, even though I invested in that business coach, it was the best thing I ever done because I was able to learn so much more strategies. I was able to sign clients, get the support. And I'd honestly say without a coach or a mentor, like there's only so much far you can go. And it's really important to ask for help when you need it. Like, don't think, oh, I can do this myself, or I'll just watch YouTube videos, because it's going to take a lot longer, and you're probably just going to give up because you're going to be like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. So never be like stingy in your own business. Never be stingy in investing in yourself, because at the end of the day, you're doing it for yourself. So that's one way I'd say I always like adapt in my business and manage challenges. I always make sure that I've got someone to go to for support, because that's really important. There's always going to be people more experienced than you, so don't have
Yeah.
that ego of like, oh, I know this already. Like, try and learn from other people, because you can always learn from someone. And there's always challenges with like Facebook in general. Like, Facebook ads are changing all the time. Like, one week it looks like this, the next week the setup is different. They remove targeting features, and honestly, you always have to just find a way to adapt to it. So I always make sure, again, I'm plugged into mentorship support. I make sure that I'm trying new strategies as well. So I always make sure that I'm always investing in courses with like how to sign clients in new and different ways. So that way I'm not just reliant on one main strategy, because I always think it's like you always need to be two steps ahead of everything. And with your competitors and everything, you really need to like be like, I'm gonna find another way to do this as well. So that's the way I mainly manage challenges in my business, get access to like a coach, and also making sure that I'm investing in courses, programs, and just asking for help when you need it.
Yeah, love it. I totally agree. Because I know a lot of people do think they can do it on their own,
Yeah,
watching the YouTube. I mean, don't get me wrong, watching YouTube, sort of videos are very educational, but, somebody who's been there and done it themselves, oh,
yeah,
honestly, it's the best. I would advise that to anyone, and don't get me wrong, you are going to make mistakes. It's business. You're meant to make mistakes.
yeah,
But the whole point is you need to learn from those mistakes.
yeah,
So yeah, no, I agree, 100% agree. Okay, so now that you've overcome those challenges, no doubt there'll be more.
yeah, yeah.
Honestly, in business, yeah, there'll be more. There'll be more. But what leads me on to my next question. So, what things did you find scary before, which now it's quite normal to you? And how have you gone out of your comfort zone since you've actually started your business?
Oh, really great question. So I'd say there's loads of things that I probably now, if I looked back at myself and saw myself doing these things now, I'd be like, that's not me. Um, so I'd say the number one thing would probably be showing my face on social media. Like, I didn't ever, back then, I never used to show my face. Like, I was always camera shy. I used to hide behind a logo. Like, I used to have that diamond shaped logo thing on my, as my profile picture. I I'd never show my face. I'd always be shy, and I always thought it's cringe, like me filming a video of myself speaking. And I think when I first did it as well, I was like cringing so much. I was like, I can't do this. It's like, this isn't me. This isn't my personality. But yeah, the old version of me would never think that I'm doing this now. But I think as you grow in life and in business, you've got to level up and do things that scare you frequently, because then they'll no longer feel scary, and it's like second nature. So like now, when I think I post a lot more on my feed, showing my face, doing videos of me talking, and it just seems more natural to me. And the way I kind of overcame that was through my business coach, actually. Like, I remember them setting me a challenge of like, just try and show up once a week on social media, see how that feels. Even if it, like, you can block your friends and family from seeing your story, just like do something, and then over time, like, you're going to start feeling like it's a natural second nature. And I remember like I remember feeling like scared to do it, but once I did it, it was actually, it felt really like I started getting used to it. And then you always need to think as well with that kind of thing, is anyone who struggles with being on camera or like showing their face, who do you like, people buy from people. So like, if I hid behind my logo, I would kind of like not stand out, and I'd be like every other agency out there that just hides behind a logo. Like, there's no connection, there's no personality, people want to know people, right? Like, that's how I follow you. I get to, it's really nice, like, getting to see your stories. You go in Portugal, like, I feel like I know you even though I haven't spoken to you properly.
Yeah.
So this is why I think it's so important for people to like really show themselves on camera, and really like, just don't be afraid to like, show up as yourself, and ignore what people say about like, oh, you might be thinking like, people are going to laugh at me, people are going to like think it's cringe. Like, who cares, right? They're not paying your bills. So I think it's really important, really important to just like focus on the bigger picture as well. So that's one thing I found really scary back then, but you know, I feel like I'm pretty fine with showing my face on camera. Like I filmed courses and stuff with my face, so all of that stuff is pretty normal to me now. I'd say another thing was Zoom calls as well. Like, funny enough, I used to do all. It's actually weird how I used to like doing all my meetings, like client pitches in person, locally and meet up with business owners, even though that's probably more scarier. I used to actually prefer doing that than the idea of being on a video call and talking to someone like yeah, it was a really weird. That was a really weird thing about me. But I only realized how much that was going to restrict me as well because, you know, there's only so many people I can work with locally. And at one point, if I want to grow my business, I'm going to have to work with people like around the world or in different parts of the UK. So I remember having my first Zoom call and I was just being so nervous, but it was actually all right. It just felt like a normal conversation. And, you know, I felt like I actually like this way of like, now I love doing Zoom calls like with client meetings and stuff like that. It's so much more convenient and you know, I had meetings with clients from like different parts of the world as well, like Mexico, like Dubai as well. So yeah, it's now Zoom calls are like second nature to me, but that's something that I found really scary, which I never thought I'd ever do back when I first started. And then the last one I'd say is going to a conference all by myself. That's one thing I done in 2022. I was 18 at the time, and I saw a marketing conference and it was in London and I went all by myself, like didn't know anyone. And I was just thinking to myself, like, how am I going to interact with people? How am I going to like, you know, it feels a bit weird when you're going by yourself, but I'm so glad I did it because I met so many like great people. Like I remember just having like lunch and dinner with someone who also has like a six-figure business. Like I remember them saying like they were just telling me they don't live in the UK, they live in Spain. It was just really nice like connecting with loads of different people. And I feel like when you go to these conferences, you're surrounded by people doing the same thing. You almost feel like you can really grow your business a lot more easier because
Yeah.
I feel like when you're surrounded by everyone who's working on their business rather than in a 9 to 5, you feel like you're in another different world and it's like, okay, I can do anything. I can sign clients. This is all easy for me. This is not like average people stuff. Like this is, do you know what I mean? So I,
Yeah.
I think, yeah, going to conferences, that was one. And I'm doing another one like next month as well. I'm going to one by myself again. So yeah, again, sometimes I still have these hesitations, like even this podcast as well. I have a bit of hesitation sometimes before I go on it, but you just have to like not
Get
think
on
and do
with it.
it.
Yep, get on with it. Oh God, Saeed, I love what you just said. I absolutely love it. And the people that are listening to this show, who are thinking of starting a business and they don't want to go into camera and, do videos and things like that, and just listening to what you said and how you focused and, just got on with it and did it. And now, it's quite normal to you. Yes, you have a little bit of a, but it doesn't stop you from doing it. And that's the point. And what we've got some agents that work for us, and that was a big issue for some of our agents.
Mm,
And I had to call a really big meeting and really explain about personal branding. Company branding is one thing, but personal branding is a completely different thing. And people, like you said, people buy from people, and
yeah,
people want to know what you are about, who you are. You don't have to give your whole life story, but
exactly.
just a little bit snippets of, what you're doing today, little things. And honestly, as soon as our agents did that, they stepped outside their comfort zone and they did that, and you see they're getting more inquiries because of that, because people are now feeling they're connected to them. And
Exactly.
we had some agents that had to leave because they just couldn't do it. They were that scared they couldn't actually step out of their comfort zone. So the fact what you're saying is, oh, it's so true, it's so true. But I think in today, if you want to be an entrepreneur, you've got to, and as social media as it is,
Yeah,
everything's social media. So that's the way we communicate today, So if you're not going to be out there and put yourself out there, then I really do think it's better to go and get a 9 to 5 and
yeah,
yeah, where the camera's not on you
yeah,
or
yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah, definitely. You can seek the comfort life or you can do something a bit scary, but make it worthwhile.
That's it, yeah. And like you just mentioned, going out to conferences on your own. I 100% agree on that. We've got an agent now that just goes out networking on her own. She doesn't know anybody. She just goes out there and she just does it, because she knows by doing it, she's going to meet people, so yeah, good on you. Good on you,
Thank
Saeed.
you.
Good on you.
Thank you.
Well done to you. So well done to you. So again, leading me on to my next question. What common mistakes do you see business owners make when they first start? And for someone wanting to generate more leads and get clients in 2025, what do you suggest is the best strategy and how can they get started?
Yeah, great question. So, common mistakes I see business owners make when they first start is I'd say I see way too many people focused on the wrong things like follow account, likes, views. Like, I think back then, like everyone's just too focused on the vanity metrics on social media. They're thinking, oh, my posts are not getting enough views, my posts are not getting likes. That means, why should I keep posting? And I can honestly say that right now, especially in social media, likes aren't really the currency you should be looking for. It should be inquiries, DMs. It should be like, it should be, am I getting an inquiry from this? Am I getting a sale from this post? Not, am I getting a like from this post? And I don't know about you, but I do this so many times where I just see posts and I'm actually reading them, but I don't like them. And I'm just like actually engaging in the content, but I'm not even
True.
necessarily liking them. And I just want to like make it clear to everyone that people are watching just because they're not liking your posts. 100%
Agree.
people are definitely watching. Like I've done posts where I've made sales for my posts and they've not liked them, and I've had people come into my world, buy my online course, and they've never ever met me before. They don't even follow me still to this day, but they still bought my course because they saw my content. And I was just thinking, wow, you don't really know who's out there secretly like spying your content and who's always
Yeah.
like on the edge of just about to buy your thing. So never ever, even if you see, I see coaches, like people with like 30K followers, 50K followers, like they have like 12, 13 likes on their posts, but they're making sales. So don't think of likes as the currency. Even if you're getting 1 or 2 likes, even if you're the only one liking your post, it doesn't mean people aren't watching. Always look at insights, look at how many people are actually viewing the post. So that's one thing I would definitely say, like, don't focus on likes, follow accounts. That's a big mistake I see everyone make. Another one is as well is like, everyone, when they first start a new business pages, they end up following their friends and family. And I noticed like if they're not going to buy from you, you wouldn't really want to like, don't really like encourage that as well, because you're kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
going to make it into like a personal page, or it's just going to be like another page where you're just getting like your friends and family viewing your content, whereas you really want your ideal client. So that's another one. And I think another one is not thinking long term with your strategy. So it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about how do I want to grow my business? If you're first starting a business and you're doing cold outreach, you're doing leaflet dropping, whatever it is, just always ask yourself, like, in 6 months' time, in 12 months' time, do I still want to be doing this to get clients, or do I want a different way? And that's when you need to start thinking about different strategies to grow your business. Um, Another one is growing off. I already mentioned this, but like growing a following of your peers, not your ideal clients. So I see this with lots of like estate agents as well, on marketers as well. Like, I used to do this. I would follow other social media marketers, and they used to be the ones engaging with my content, not my ideal clients. And if they're not going to buy from me, why am I trying to engage with them in a way? If that makes sense. So try and focus on your ideal clients, not your peers, because obviously they're not going to buy from you, and you want to make sure your posts are making sales, not just generic likes. And then lastly, another mistake I'd say is not using ads. And obviously I might be a bit biased with this, but now that I've used it myself, I know the power of ads. And for someone like any business owner wanting to generate leads and get more clients in 2025, I have to say, honestly, the best strategy is paid ads and sales funnels. And that's the way to go, because for anyone who doesn't want, and it can work for startup businesses as well, for anyone who doesn't want, you don't need a huge social media following. You don't need to post every day on social media if you don't want to, or do cold calling, cold outreach. Like, I've had clients where they haven't posted for months, but they still get appointments booked in like every single week. So it's all about finding a winning ad and a funnel, how to target your exact ideal clients. And then once you've done all of that, it's just rinse and repeat. So I would always say to anyone, like, if you want to grow your business in the future, the best strategy, and if you want people coming to you rather than you approaching them, because obviously it's going to be a lot easier to sell to someone who approached you first because they came to you, so you kind of have the upper hand. I'd say the best strategy is paid ads and sales funnels, just because they're coming to you, you're not approaching them, and they're also pre-qualified before they come on a call with you. Like, you can find out, have they got the budget to work with me? How legit are they? You're not going to have to go chase them up. So I'd say the best strategy is paid ads and sales funnels. And then if you can't do that as well, for anyone who doesn't have the budget, um, organic content as well, I'd say. Just focus on, making content for generating inquiries, making content for, converting leads. You want to focus on content for your ideal clients. And that's a great way to get clients if you can't, invest in ads. But a lot of misconceptions people have with ads as well is that you need to spend thousands of pounds every single month.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Yeah.
that's not being true. Like if you're a good marketer and you know what you're doing, getting clients won't be that expensive. Like I've had people, like when I work with clients, we usually get appointments booked within our first like few days of launching the ads. Like I've had some within like a few hours, and it all comes back to a framework which you have to follow everything. Like you have to do everything right for you to get results like that. And anyone who says you have to spend £1,000 on ads, it's because I've either worked with someone who doesn't know what they're doing, or they don't really know what they're doing, because marketing shouldn't be that expensive, right?
Yeah.
It's all about making
Yeah.
ROI. So yeah, I'd say paid ads and sales funnels is definitely the way forward for anyone who needs appointments and sales calls. That's the way forward.
Okay, so talk me through. So basically, so as you know, I work in real estate.
Yeah,
So that is my audience. People looking for properties, etc. So talk me through it. So for example, if I was a client, because obviously the people that's watching the show, they're going to want to know. Okay,
yeah.
what would you do? What can you do for me? Can you talk? If you could talk me through the process, so I can get a little bit more of, our audience can get a little bit more of an understanding.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So let's use the property example, like industry as an example. Maybe I'll use like a typical estate agent as an example. So obviously we have estate agents that list properties, and their main way of obviously making money is they need to get uh, property listings, right? They need to get instructions, find properties to sell. So what are the common methods that estate agents currently use? Well, I'd say it's like leaflet dropping. I've spoken to some, they do cold calling, networking events. A lot of it is mainly like outreach as well, and just waiting for people to like call up and say like, oh, I saw your leaflet, like, I'm interested. What I would do is build them a sales funnel. So one that's super specific, and we create a signature offer that makes them stand out from their competitors. Because I see every estate agent say the same thing. They say stuff like, get a free home valuation, get a free home valuation. Like, it's generic. Everyone's saying that. So how are you standing out, right? If I said something along the lines of, we need, like, let's just say London, for example, that's the kind of target, the ideal client we want in London. I'd be like, London homeowners, here's how we can sell your property in 30 days or less without, and then you think we'd mention like three pain points. So we'd make them a signature offer, okay? And we'd make sure that whoever sees this ad, they're going to think, okay, this estate agent, they've got like, they've got some substance in what they're saying. They're not just saying, "Oh, get a free home valuation." They're selling they're saying what they can do, and they can say what I don't have to do as well. Like I can avoid these pain points. So then after that, I'd run those ads and then make them, the homeowners, the home sellers, people looking to sell their property, go onto a funnel. And then once they go into that funnel, it's basically built out to really nurture them. So it talks through the pain points of like working with typical estate agents, how we're different, how we can sell your property in 30 days or whatever it is that we're offering. And then it would have like a testimonials, client case studies. This client worked with us, they sold their property in X weeks. Book a call now, or book a home valuation, to get started, do the next step. And then after that, once they book a home valuation, that's when they fill out a pre-qualification form. So it'd be something along the lines of, how many bedrooms is your property, and how soon are you actually looking to sell? That's a really key question, because you want to make sure that you've got people who are actually like not time wasters. So it could be immediately or within the next 2 weeks. And then after that, they'd put in their address, and then you'd basically do a home valuation with them. And then that's how you'd sell your service. But to get that home valuation, you would have, if you didn't use that strategy, you would have been relying on like
I
referrals,
agree.
leaflets.
Yeah.
So this is a way for clients to come to you.
Yeah, and that can work. I know you've picked estate agents, but that can work in any business
Yeah,
concept.
literally, I've had like
Yeah.
coaches, people in the mortgage space, like anyone that needs appointments or sales calls, whether that's in person or online. Like, this is the strategy you need to be using. Like, honestly, I
Yeah.
can't think of anything better.
Wow. So you help with the ad, because I remember speaking to someone before, and they always say it starts with the ad.
Yes.
You've got to have a good ad, so because you can imagine, you're strolling through Instagram, Facebook, and people's got, they're just always strolling, aren't they? They're not really, they're just literally strolling, their
Yeah,
brains are
yeah,
just strolling, yeah. And you've got to, in order to stop, you've got to have something there that catches your eye. So
yeah.
I've always been told that you need to have an ad that is eye catching. And then once they read it, and if it's obviously of any interest, then they'll press whatever they're telling them to do. Is that what, did you do the ad then as well?
Yes, yes, yes. So
Oh,
with clients, I actually have like a specific strategy I use with the ads. Like I've got a few different ad techniques. So if you're just we don't just rely on getting ads with one ad, like getting clients with one ad. We use different techniques. So we want to appeal to different buyer types. So one of them could be like a video of you speaking. Another one might be just a really plain, straight to the point text, plain text image. And I found those sometimes work the best. So it is all about thinking outside the box. Like with my current client as well, like I tried a completely random idea. It was like a point of view reel, and that had the most appointments booked in. So you really need to always innovate with your ads as well. You can't just always think, oh, let me just do this one ad and rely on it. Try different ad creatives as well, because that you need to appeal to different buyer types.
yeah, I love that. I love that. Honestly, thank you so much for sharing that because, like I said, I wasn't sort of born in the days of sales funnels and things like that. I was cold calling, picking
Yeah.
up the phone and, that's my days, and the fact that you can do it this way now, is absolutely fantastic, and anyone that's listening to this, podcast, then, I'm sure they're going to find this information very helpful. So thank you so much for that, Saeed. So where are you now in your business then? Like, what's the future? What's the
Yeah.
future for exact marketing? Yeah, where are you now?
Yeah, so I'd say right now I'm in this stage where I want to like help as many people as I can. So I want to work with as many different businesses as I can as well, not just estate agents anymore. I want to work with people in the coaching industry, which I already have, and I want to expand that as well. I want to work with people not just in the UK, but like in other countries. Like I want to show that this strategy can work for anyone, and I want to break all the limitations and the limiting beliefs that people have about signing clients. Like it has to feel hard, it has to feel you have to do cold outreach. Like I want to be that go-to person when it comes to like wanting to book clients and get them to come to you. So that's one of my main focuses. And I want to focus also on coaching as well, because I know for some business owners, they don't might not have the budget to always like work with someone and pay them a monthly retainer, right? So I thought, let me create a course and offer one-to-one mentorship as well. So that's also another thing which I have, which I'm planning to roll out a bit more as well and promote a bit more soon. But it's basically, I built out a whole entire course of how you use my strategy, winning ad templates, scripts, like the ones I use for my clients that are getting results. So it's literally just like plug and play. You copy you follow the training, set it up yourself, funnel template and everything is included. So that way, anyone who wants to learn it themselves, they can do that as well, rather than having to invest a lot of money and pay that monthly invoice as well. So I've created two
Yeah.
different options, so that way it's accessible to everyone. That it doesn't matter what your situation is, there is a way for you to use this strategy.
Oh, that's amazing. That's it. And like you said, you touched on it that it's about helping, isn't it?
Yeah,
Helping that individual, that business succeed. And this can be any business, can't it? It can
yeah.
be, a small, medium-sized business, a solo entrepreneur, a company that's been going quite a few years. It's really any business, isn't it, that you can apply your services. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. Anyone that sells a service and you just need appointments or you need that sales call, this strategy is for you.
Fantastic. Fayed, honestly, it was such a pleasure you coming in and, talking what you do about your business and what you do and how you can help people. So if someone wants to reach out to you, where can they find you? Where can
Yeah,
they find you?
great question. So I think the best option would be just to drop me a message on Instagram. It's at exton_marketing. And if you're interested in learning how to use the strategy and automate your lead generation, just drop me a DM. Just be like, hi Saeed, I saw your podcast with Anita. I would love to learn more. Or just, drop me a DM and just go straight to the point. I don't mind. Or you can drop me an email, saeedk at extentmarketing.com, and I'll happily, get back in touch with you. And yeah, just like get in contact and we'll find you, we'll work out if the strategy is for you. If it's not for you as well, I'll also mention that, because one thing I do make sure with everyone is this is actually applicable to you. And if it's not, I'll say this isn't for you. So yeah, that's the way I do it.
Yeah, it's always best to be honest. We don't want,
Yeah,
time is money, and people, we're
exactly.
busy people. So if it's not for you, then it's not for you. But yeah, so those are the best ways to reach out to you. Okay, fantastic. All I can say is, Saeed, all I can say is honestly, congratulations where you've come from your business.
Thank
In,
you.
the doom times of COVID, and now we've come out the other side, and you're growing the business. I really believe you're going to grow from strength to strength because
Thank you.
it's social media. You
Yeah,
need social media, and businesses need social media to reach people, not just wherever they're based in the UK where we are, but around the world.
exactly.
Our business model is all remote, so
Amazing.
we're not like the dinosaurs that's got all the offices and things like that. If that's for them, then that's fantastic. But for me, it's always about, you don't have to have one office. You can have social media to be your window,
Yeah,
and you can reach people around the world, so
love
that's
that.
amazing what you do. So thank you so much for coming in
Yeah.
to our
Thank you so
show.
much for having me. It was really great speaking to you.
My pleasure. Okay. Thank you so much, Saeed. Thank you. You take care.
Thank you. Cheers. Bye.
Bye bye.